Welcome everybody. Today we are going to plant a Bocking 14 type Comfrey root cuttings. I got these from Marsh Creek Farmstead, probably through Amazon. I don't remember their cost, but each of these root cuttings will produce at least one plant. The best time to plant anything really is in the spring or the fall preferably, but it's sunny out and I have root cuttings and I'm going to put them in the ground. I think where I'm going to plant them is along the edge here. See, right here. Put them a couple feet different, away from each other. There are vegetables already planted out, but I think I'm just going to go along this edge here. And because where this Creeping Charlie is coming up, that's going to be the new pathway. Got my berry plants on the side. So there's some artichokes planted out throughout here, which are already leafing up after, 5 days? And yeah, I think I'll just make a border of comfrey all the way along. I'll walk over here and show you one that I'd planted, I think in the fall. It usually take a couple years to get into full height, but yeah, right here. It's already been trimming down some of the grasses. It's all decomposing now. Here's one of them that I planted. And then here's another one. And that was probably one root that split into two plants. And then here is a blue crop blueberry. It's finally leafing out. These blue crop are slower to sort of come to life, it looks like, but most of my berry plants have survived. And now it's time to get some comfrey in the ground. And I have a couple of hascaps that I'm going to hascaps and a whole bunch of, I think, 30 different asparagus. So just walking around, put a little bit of water, about a third of this on my most recent vegetable bed. That'll probably be the last time I water it. Plan on just watering it until they start sprouting, then I'll stop watering. Might, if it goes, I don't know, a week without any rain, then I might water again. But because each of those beds was raised beds, has that newspaper whatever at the bottom, so I don't know how much water is soaking up through from the ground. I think it's acting more as a barrier than anything, so I need to make sure I water it. But I just moved the wood chips around and check the soil. I mean, it's a lot deeper here, but all this soil is damp. So if that's the same dampness in my raised beds, then I just don't worry about watering it. But earlier this morning I know this guy was up, this asparagus, and that one behind it. There's a couple other green ones, but as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the purple ones, whatever variety those were. Another green one, 2 green ones. About 3 varieties, there's about 10 each. And I put them all in this row here. So I don't expect all of them to come up. Well, kind of expect all of them to come up, but not all at the same time. They were crowns, so there's another one. I don't know if I see it. There's one more down here. Everybody can see that. Yep, right there. So that's really cool. It's been 5 days, something like that. And of course I have sunchokes. Well, here's my black cherry bush, one of them. Black cherry bush is doing well. Got some of the grass around it. It's got a lot thinner grass. It's not stealing all the sunlight. There's another black cherry bush in my sugar bush. You can see all the maple trees in there. Pretty much every flag is a maple tree. It's nice that we got this grass cut down, so we're really springing up. There's another black cherry bush straight ahead. I think I ordered some more raspberry canes. I bought these from one of the box stores. I bought 4 of them. I don't know if it's gonna end up coming up with anything. Perhaps they rooted again, I'm not sure, but got another, this is probably black mulberry, this tree that's popping up, and this blue crop blueberries come up, so that's really good. And I just checked this tree because I seen berries all over the ground, so I was kind of burying some of the berries in the middle of all this asparagus. And I went in and looked up, and that's like a 30-foot black mulberry tree. I don't know if I can get close enough to the fruits here. Yep, we can see that. And all these black ones, those are the most ripe. So you want to eat them all when they're ripe. I was looking it up. I guess there's such thing as a white mulberry. It's kind of confusing. I went through a different websites, and I guess as long as the berry, there's a special word for it, it's actually multiple berries on there. It just looks like look at that, like a blackberry. Those are actually individual fruits on there, each of those little knobs or bumps, whatever. And this tree is just full of them. I can't get to too many of them. I'll have to try and eat, trying to lick it, see if I get sick, and then a couple days I'll try and eat some. But 99% sure this is a black mulberry tree. It took forever for it to start to leaf out, much later than any of these other trees. And coincidentally, that one leafed out at about the same time. It has the same berries on it, just less of them. So that's really cool. So I kind of have an idea of all the sprouts of the different trees. Like, of course, I can recognize a maple, but yeah, these other trees that are popping up, that'd be really cool if they were black mulberries. And then I can keep them shorter so I can actually reach the fruit. Of course, my 2 strawberries are doing well. I was going to leave a couple of these flowers on, but I just pricked them off, and that one, I left 2 on there, and those should turn into strawberries, but they're doing really well. Another blueberry bush, you can see. Yeah, and these bushes, I mean, there's growth. It'll be next year, the year after, before I get any real fruit off of it, but none of the comfrey that I planted just recently hasn't popped up yet, but they're just roots. Some of these vegetables are doing well and some aren't. So the rhubarb's just kind of poking through. But then we have like peas and beans. This cabbage is kind of coming up. I've been having to start grabbing some of this violet. But you can see how it just rooted just barely into the wood chips. This is going to be a little bit harder. But these violets, I mean, there's a huge network of these under all these wood chips, so impossible to get rid of. I just don't want them going into compete too much. And then I can just drop them down and they can add to the soil. I don't know what these are. Oh, these are the peas, okay. Peas are doing awesome. But one thing that hasn't come up is this spinach. This was so easy. And the So Easy variety or product, they have the seeds and then they encase it, I guess, in some sort of fertilizer or clay or something, so each seed is bigger than it is, and it's supposed to help it sprout better, but I don't know, maybe they just haven't been watered enough, so maybe after the next rain we'll get some stuff sprouted up. But one good thing is the cranberry, the 2 cranberries. There's one over there in front of that sign. See the brighter yellow leaves. Anyways, these sunchokes are coming up, and all these little flowers, I just threw like random, wildflower mixes in here, so you can see some of these other seeds. Let me get out of the sun here, the shade. Anyway, there's all sorts of little seeds and stuff popping up. And about a third of those sunchokes, at least where I put the roots in, have come up. So those will give the rest of them time. I mean, they have more, probably just have more wood chips to push through. I'm sure they'll be able to do it though. But yeah, it'll be interesting. About 4 weeks maybe, this whole area probably won't even be able to see that wood pile. It'll be awesome. Everything else will keep growing. The comfrey there, that's going to be pretty big here too, so everything's going to speed up. A lot of it's very juvenile. A lot of these berry bushes were planted last fall and probably stepped on by me. So we'll just let nature do its thing. We'll see how much rain we get, things like that. I really don't want to have to water if I have all this mulch. Like even where it looks thin, that's just like a dusting of dirt. There's still 3-4 inches of wood chips under there with the cardboard still breaking down. But yeah, so I got all sorts of flags around showing where I planted stuff. We got a bigger compost over there. We've got most of our garden beds. We'll have to change these big 4x4s out with just 2x4s or whatever I have, some pallet wood. Just run a string across for those, and then I have more tomatoes here right in front of us. Do the same thing. I don't know if they're determinate or indeterminate. I'm gonna guess they are determinate, both of these varieties. But yeah, might as well just support them anyways. Let them grow, support them. We have been eating some of this kale. That's actually pretty good when it's real small like that. I think we ate some. We ate most of that just 2 days ago, around this time. So, more peas, and then I think these are peppers. Yeah, California peppers. Then another thing too, there's a wood here. There's a beam, and some of the grass got through. Got through the was on the edge of the newspaper or whatever. But it comes out, but then it's not really holding any soil. So yeah, I might have got most of that. If not, it's not that big of a deal. But I don't have weeds all over the place. A couple blades of grass isn't gonna hurt anything. So that's the bed that I just watered. I just, like I said, I put about a third of that container in there. There's lettuce and all sorts of stuff in there, but this, these peppers are doing well. I think those are tomatoes that I planted. I just kind of started randomly planting stuff, so hopefully I'll recognize what these things are when they come up. That's the hope anyway. And then I did plant more tomatoes in here, a couple of peas, beans, and these are onions. Yep, long slender ones are onions. I planted a bunch of onion seeds in here, but not a lot took. But there we are. We got compost is composting. We got a whole other pile of compost. Widen out the paths quite a bit. We still got a little bit more. Looks like on every joining of pathways, we're just gonna make them bigger. You can kind of see right in front of us where it's a lighter color. Mowed that a little bit bigger. I might push it back, round it out a little bit. This will make another pass. Bring it straight up. Let's see, bring it right. Yeah, just kind of cut this off. Bring it more toward that pile so it's more obvious and accessible. And yeah, no, it's just maybe get a couple more bags of that soil, plant some more stuff, make some more pathways a little wider, and just watch the trees grow. Keep continuing to cut down this longer grass, basically showcasing the trees and the plants that I want to grow. A lot of this grass is real thin grass, whatever it is, not a big deal, but there's some really, really thick stuff, thick bladed stuff back there, all along that edge. And I'm sure you can see the giant mullein straight ahead of us. About 5 foot tall now. Now, let's go see. There's my lone surviving pine tree from the city. Yeah, this grass is, I mean, you can see, but the reason why there's so little is, I don't know if you can see how well it's matted down. It's matted down so much in there. A lot of that stuff hasn't been able to grow unless it was that thinner grass. So it's exactly what we wanted. And we have some more of what I'm just calling milkweed. You know, they're two different plants. I'm going to call them both milkweed for the butterflies. And then I do have a thistle, big old thistle. I think there's another one on the property too, but I don't mind it. I'm gonna break up the soil somehow. Yet, let's see, how tall is this? Yeah, 4 foot. It's about 5 foot, I guess the very top is 5 foot. Yeah, that's about chest height on me. And you can see how big this strawberry patch is getting. That just popped up. There's strawberries all over this property. And some are getting eaten by a couple of bunnies. And it's pretty cool. Oh, here we're back again. Well, yeah, hopefully this is a black mulberry. That'll take over this space, prune it to a certain height, and then I've already been thinking about widening this patch, just sheet mulching this, bringing it around, and then I'll just continue around. That's a lot, well, it's still a lot of work, but hopefully just one trip to the recycling center will be able to do that. But I'm going to allow these trees that are springing up to grow. I mean, if I have to do an extra hour's worth of work, sheet mulching, that's fine. Just let the trees grow. Yeah, if this path was a little bit wider, because I put all that asparagus there. But it would have to go around these. But we'll see. See how it goes, how the mood strikes me. Alright. There's a wasp that trying to make a nest in my bird feeder. Yeah, I guess I can try it. One of the drawbacks of having a hummingbird feeder that hummingbirds don't drink. Bees. Alright. That's it for today.